Now then people, it's Joe, all Leeds TV. How are we all doing? Hope we're doing well. It's Monday, it's your regular Monday football talk with @Wainman Joe, me, Joe Wainman. So yeah, on the football front then, before I delve into your comments, normally we'll have something to go on for the week ahead, but as I say, it's now the international break. We don't play for, I think it's 12 days now. Next up's Millwall. We've got Millwall away, and then Preston at home again, which I'm looking forward to. Same Tuesday night. We'll see how that pans out. Bearing in mind we got knocked out of the cup, I feel comfortable with that. And then Birmingham, the return of the snake, the knob that is Gary Monk. So yeah, there's his next three. It's interesting because if you think, obviously Millwall away derailed us last year under TC. We were flying up until that point. We'd even got through in the cup. We were flying in the cup as well. I think we were due to play Leicester. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. Because as I say, it derailed us last time. And for me, there's a lot riding on that game. If we come away with, from Millwall with 3 points, then I look at the rest of the fixtures. I think the last fixture in September, Sheffield away on a Friday night. If we come away with from Millwall with 3 points, I'd be confident we'd pick up 3 points in the Birmingham and Preston game, and be going on to Sheffield on a Friday night. 9 points. Could it be a perfect month for Bielsa and Leeds? And you've got to think if that did happen, do we start to build up a gap? Because in an ideal world, that'd be fantastic. I mean, we won't be able to tell properly until Christmas, January time, after that massive run of games that the Christmas period brings us. Where we'll sit, but I think, I think there's a lot riding on that Millwall game, and I'm really looking forward to it. Initially, I was going first away day. It looks like that's going to have to be pushed back to Sheffield. I'm going. I totally forgot, but I've got tickets to see Wicked with the lass, and I can't let her down, So no away day for me, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be looking at the Sheffield game. But anyway, that's by the by. Monday football chat. So yeah, that really is the main crux of it. Up until we play Millwall, depending on any sort of news that comes out of the club, I'd imagine it'd be a quiet time. Izzy Brown got done as well. I know we haven't really said much on Izzy Brown because it was late on the Friday, and then obviously we had Millwall. I'm really excited by the signing of Izzy Brown. That season that Huddersfield went up, he was key, and he's a top player in the Championship in my opinion. The one thing that I will say, I don't think we'll see him for a while. Not only is he just coming back from injury, but you've got the fact that Bielsa's so keen on body fat and having his players fit. I mean, even look at Blackman. It took him a while to even be considered because of that fact. So you've got the fact he's coming back from injury, and then he's going to have to come up to speed in terms of his body fat and stuff, which Bielsa likes to have trimmed down. So I don't think we'll see Izzy for a while, but we might see him at a time where Saiz starts to maybe lose legs, or Pablo, for example. Then he'll be ideal, it'll be like well, he is a new signing, isn't he? But I don't think we'll see him straight away, if you know what I mean. So he might come fit and come good just at the right time for us, really. So I think it's a really good signing, and I'm excited by the prospect of getting to see him play. So yeah, as for my video that I did on Friday when I got back from the game, again, we've had quite a few comments, so just like before, I like to run through them and reply to them. So I'll start off then. I've got our lass's phone again, technology at its highest. So I've got Joel Griffiths. He's basically said after the video, I totally agree with you. Pulis definitely had his tactics spot on if he wanted any way in shutting us out. However, I feel like it would have been better if both teams went for a win, because then maybe we would see some goals. Totally get where you're coming from, but ultimately no manager just, especially someone like Pulis, just wants to put on a show just so we get goals. Obviously, we'd have liked to see goals and we'd have liked to see Leeds winning. You know, who doesn't want, say, a 7-goal thriller? But you're never going to get that with Pulis. So, you know, a fair result for both teams. I think nils each. He does go on to say he's happy with a point, and considering we're still unbeaten, having played Stoke, Derby, Rotherham, Swansea, Norwich and Borough, I'm very, very happy. And the ref was pretty dreadful, you are right. I thought it was very much on Borough's side. There was a lot of challenges that didn't go like Friends. There was an early challenge of Friends on Harrison, which I think was a bit of a crazy and reckless challenge that didn't go punished. So yeah, you probably are right there. There was something to say. But like Joe says, if you look at the quality of opposition we've had and the fact we're unbeaten on top of the table, it's great. That's what's different to last year, and I think we'll show that at Millwall as well, hopefully away from home when we pick up 3 points there. Joseph Tiffany, I thought Peacock Farrell had a brilliant game, really assured when coming from his line off the ball. Coming from his line for the ball. Can't see him being budged anytime soon, totally agree. And having seen Blackman, especially against Preston, don't think he covered himself in glory in terms of passing it out from the back. And also some of his goalkeeping wasn't the best. So I don't think anyone's coming near Bailey at this moment. He also goes on to say Jack Harrison had a great game and deserved a goal. Worked really hard, as did all of the players. And I think you're right, Jack Harrison was really good. I know that I put on Instagram a little snippet. It was the bit about Jack Harrison. He did have a really good game, and I know everyone said we missed Pablo, and I felt a bit sorry for Harrison because of that, but I do think Pablo may have been the player to find a space in that game and maybe make something happen. But in terms of Harrison, you know, he looks like he's finally getting up to speed, because up until that point he's been a bit suspect for me. Sometimes you can see he's trying to do stuff and it's not really up to speed with what he's trying to do, but it looks like he's started to adjust, and I think everyone would agree with that. Moving on. Sorry, I seem to have scrolled too far down the page. Clay Davis, I agree. I was a bit sceptical of Harrison, but he stepped up last night, had a good game. But we still missed that magic from Pablo. Just carries on from what I've just said. You're totally right, Clay. He did have a great game, but Pablo was the man that probably would have found his space. James Cole, spot on again about the game. Thanks very much, mate. I was so frustrated watching it because Middlesbrough just came and did a job on us to sit in and for a point and score from a set piece. Leeds were trying to play football all night, but it's like the land of giants against them. A good point, and it is, and come the end of the season it will be a good point. Be interesting to see how Pulis adopts his style when we go to their place, if indeed he does it all. Because for me, as a fan, and I know speaking to my pals, some of them aren't happy with Pulis and the way he goes about his business. But listen, beggars can't be choosers. We're in the Championship, and if it's going to get them out of the Championship, you can't really grumble. But if you were seeing that week in, week out, and if we go to their place, surely as a home fan, you'd want your team to have a go. So it'd be interesting to see the style of play that Pulis adopts when we go there, and see if he does the same. Jim Howsam, they basically played 3-6-1, flooding midfield, anti-football, playing to not get beat. Importantly, though, in past seasons we would have crumbled under pressure, but but this season we showed we're made of stronger stuff, especially with a few of our players playing on Tuesday. Totally agree, mate, Jim. You know, and that showed in the Swansea game. I said before, after the Swansea game, that game last year or last season we'd have got beat. So yeah, you are right. Blazed Dragon. Borough are solid defensively, but they're so poor going forward. It was hard for us to play against a negative team who parked the bus last night, marching on together. I think you are right. I think if Braithwaite would have played, it would be interesting if it had linked the midfield to a Sombalonga a little bit better. But yeah, I thought listen, a lot of the comments echo what a lot of us think. They just came to get that point. Or try get something from a set piece. I don't know if they'll continue to do that, and I think it shows how well Pulis thought about us and Bielsa, because they adopted that style of play. You know, 3 centre backs with Friend and Shotton in the full back positions. Dr. Frost, Middlesbrough are physically huge players, draw a fair result, but last season we lost away against Millwall and never regained momentum. momentum, hopefully not again. I agree, and I think, like I say, that Millwall game is key, especially because it lands in the same sort of time that it did last year, and it'll just be able to give us as fans a true reflection on where we're going. If we come away from Millwall with a comfortable win, then, you know, there's a lot riding on that game, and it'll give us all, you know, hope for the rest of the season. He does say Harrison for Alioski next game, and Bamford should have come on earlier, and why Berardi played, considering the side of Middlesbrough players, is puzzling for me. Get what you're saying. I said that before the game about the height, but it's naive of us to think that Bielsa is going to change his style of play. He has one style of play, and, you know, football wins all the time. And it's like I said in the video post match. Can you imagine Pep swapping someone because of a height? Say I said Silva for Yaya Toure. I know Yaya Toure is not there, but it's never going to happen. The football purists. But for me, Berardi was class, so we can't really question that. As for Harrison for Alioski the next game, I'm not so sure, and I don't think he will, but it's clear if he continues to put in performances like that, then maybe so. Because, let's be honest, Alioski's getting a bit frustrating with all these offsides. He needs to fecking check his line. It's doing me head in a little bit. Steve Moraes says, I think this was a brilliant game. Good point. Can he buy the khaki training top off me? Mate, if you can get them in the shop. I think it was 30 quid, 40 quid. Don't think it was much as the home shirt. So you don't need to buy it off me, Steve. Get it bought online, mate, or pop into the club shop next time you're at Ellen Road. Easy peasy. Joseph Tiffany. Hernandez could have played last night, but Bielsa did not want to risk him. Yep, you're right there. Derek Tolliday, it was a fair result last night. Borough are a hard team to beat. Totally agree. And I can't see many people, you know, after that Millwall game where they drew 2-2 and they came back from the death, it sort of kick-started their season. And they haven't conceded since in the league anyway. And I can't see them conceding many. They're just immense at the back. Stephen Surtees. Thought they were very negative, but a real threat in the air, which to our credit we coped pretty well with. I would have played Bamford from start, but I'm happy with the result. P.S. Heard Berardi got injured. Any news? He was my man of the match. We've not had anything come out on Berardi yet. Not that I've seen anyway. Maybe you could add in the comments if you have seen, but it's been pretty quiet on that front. One thing I did see, I think it was his 30th birthday. Maybe not 30, but whatever, it was his birthday, and he'd gone out for a meal with his friends and family, and he was still in his Leeds gear, which is just quality. Berardi is the boy. Yeah, and you mentioned Bamford for me. Yeah, I know he played for Borough, but you couldn't have started him. Not in the form Roof's been on fire. And sorry, just to go back as well, I think Dr. Frost said Bamford should have come on earlier. I understand where you're coming from, and listen, for me, it's one of them games like when I was talking with my pal Sean, who I go to the footy with. We said, like, who can you bring on? Who's going to change this game the way it was played? And I don't think there was really an obvious substitution in my opinion. And I think that's why there wasn't. And in Bielsa we trust. I don't think he changes the game for me anyway. Because it was just so tight. There was no one there on that bench that could create magic. I don't think in that game. Let's say, for example, you had, you know, Hernandez was a bit hit and miss, then you maybe bring Hernandez on, or if, for example, he's the sort of player you bring on to maybe create something in such a tight game. But I just think bringing Bamford on, he was just going to replace Roof and have the same sort of similar effect on the game. And there is a lot in what Bielsa said, to be fair, in the fact that he said, you know, he didn't make any changes because it's hard for them to adjust to a game of that magnitude and that speed and how it was being played, because it was a top game of football, a really good 0-0. So yeah, I'm not so sure on calling out Bielsa for if it was too early or too late of a substitution. I'm happy with it, really. Matt Healy, I always enjoy your review of the games. Keep it up, buddy, from Toronto, Canada, marching on together. Thank you very much, mate. Keep watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, everyone. Subscribers have started to go up pretty quick. There's a lot more positivity coming from social media and that, so keep that coming, and thanks very much for your support. Stephen Hoy, really enjoyed the game last night. Middlesbrough's tactics were not to lose. I thought when Pontus came on we looked a lot more solid. Maybe should have put Bamford on earlier. That back line for Borough was like land of the giants, for God's sake. Totally agree, it was rock hard, weren't they? Reece Reddhead, did AJT go to the match, Joe? No, he didn't. And it's very disappointing because he's been shouting his mouth off about, and you know how we all feel about him. Some say don't give him the air that we breathe. You know, don't breathe life into him. He's nobody. Borough not on our level. That's what a lot of fans think. Not saying that's my thinking, but that's what a lot of fans think. Some want to see him get pelters. Ultimately, the guy's a shitty ass. That's a fact. He didn't come to the game. He sat at home and he watched it, which is piss poor. Because you can't go on like that and then not even turn up to the game. When I met him, he was an alright lad. It's all for the show, don't get me wrong, but the way I see it is, I went to Stockton to Middlesbrough. I went into a pub. You know, I was with my partner. I told her to wait in the car. I went into the pub on my own, their place, met the guys, been down since to meet Foxy. Please watch that video. It's a really good football insight. But he doesn't have the balls, let's say, to come to Ellen Road with all his supporters and all the police there. And I'm not saying anyone's going to attack him, that's not what I'm saying, but it says a lot about him for me. So, Reece, no, AJT wasn't out the game because he's a shithouse. Sean Sedgwick, what a pleasure seeing you last night, Joe. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to engage with your fan base. The guy's a tool. He's my pal. I'll tell you a funny story. We were doing some interviews after the game and he'd sent his mate over and his mate comes over and he goes, "Oh, is that Joe Wainman? Can I have a picture?" So I was like, what? I was about to ready to take this picture and it was all a fucking ruse, so they were taking the piss. So that's my mate. So that's for you, Sean. Dr. Frost. Most important that we built Millwall in 2 weeks. They look very average today against 10-man Swansea. Lose against Millwall would be a real blow. All the more as it would be a copy of what happened last year, which is like what I've said. And thanks very much, Dr. Frost. You've got a few comments in here, so keep them coming. All the more as it would be a copy of what happened last year. The right tactics will be vital. Millwall like to let teams come and punish them on the counter. And Janssen seems a logical choice in regards to the large forwards Millwall have. It's not going to happen. You're going to see Berardi and Cooper, provided they're both fit. And I've no problem with that because I think they've both been immense. I really think that this game will be a good indicator to see how far we've come in comparison to last season. Totally agree, mate. Danny Winters, I have to agree. There were two styles of football on display last night. Pulis claimed that they were the better team. I think the evidence proves otherwise. I would rather watch Beelzebub than Borough's anti-football. Totally agree, mate. But whatever gets you out of the division, listen, we've been out of that division time. I would come and celebrate a 1-0 win of that shite every week if it meant we got into the Prem. I'm being honest. I just want out of this division now. You know, I just there's something there that, you know, we're getting very, very close. I'm not saying it's going to be this year because I don't want to jinx myself like I did last year and ended up, you know, finishing 13th like a set of fools. But there's something brewing at Ellen Road. So fingers crossed, guys. Radaby Leeds, Harrison tries hard, but he's no Hernandez. Massive loss for us last night. Totally agree, he was a massive loss, but he done better than try hard for me. He had an actual influence on the game this time and he played really well. And after Tuesday night against Preston, where we looked at the players that came in and started to get a bit worried. Okay, maybe they're not as maybe the squad depth isn't as great as we all first thought, and you start to worry and you start to question. He showed that it is where it's at. Cause I really like Lewis Baker. I think he's solid. Harrison, if he keeps up that I know he started from the start of the game and it's easier to be into the game, but if he's now at that sort of level that if he was to be brought off the bench, I have hope, and I believe it's true that he would then start to make an impact on the game off the bench and maybe bringing him on a little bit sooner. And then lastly, Onamu Manama, who always comments, so thank you very much. He basically just says this is a long road for Leeds, a long way to go, and you are right, mate. It is. There is a long way to go, and I say lastly, there's still some more, so ignore me. GZH, can Berardi keep up these performances? Outstanding the other night, but surely the best pairing is Pontus and Cooper. You would think so at the start of the season, but upon reflection, I think Cooper and Berardi have been smashing it, and I think for me, they're really good playing it out from the back. Pontus is good at carrying the ball, to be fair, at times, but I don't know, I just think Bielsa prefers that two pairing, so we will see. Harvey Richardson says, fair review, keep it up. Defcom22 comments a lot, so thank you again, mate. He basically says, thought Sai's booking was wrong. Wasn't bookable in my opinion. Put the player on the back foot for the rest of the game. We got a point at the end of the day. Thought comments on Sky were biased towards Borough. Next up, Millwall away. Mr. Bielsa got 14 days to hone the team to perfection, which is totally right. He's got 14 days now, hasn't he? Or did have 14 days to get on that training pitch and get him ready for Millwall. And I think it's a vital game, as I keep saying. So hopefully we go to Millwall and we're just on fire like we were at Norwich, like we were against Derby. I would love nothing more to absolutely steamroll Millwall, because I don't like them and they're minging. But yeah, it's just a big game, isn't it? Because when we look at where we were at last season, I think it's a massive game. Martin King, we were negative. So this is a Borough fan by the sounds of it. We were negative, but that was totally out of respect of how good you guys are playing currently. It was the only option for us. We have played some good football this year in our other games. That isn't our style of play. We dominated most of our other games. We shut up shop against you because Pulis knew if we come out to play, you would have beat us. Good point, fair result. Good luck for the rest of the season up the Borough. So thank you very much for that, Martin King. And like I say, I have a lot of friends that are Borough fans, and I like to tune into Borough Fan TV. I watch a lot of fan channels, and some of the comments on there have been saying, like, you know, I think it might have been Big Steve, or one of them said it was like watching Real Madrid at times, which is obviously massively wrong, because Borough don't play like Real Madrid at all. But they obviously are happy with some of the performances. I mean, they beat Sheffield United, I think 3-0 at their place. And Sheffield United have now sort of turned a corner since that result. They're now, I think, third, or definitely in the top 6. So maybe Borough don't normally play that style of play, but, you know, your personnel and you're more geared to that style of play, in my opinion. But yeah, you got a point, and it was a good point. So I can see why he did play like that. T7 Joker, where you on the cheese wedge? Thought I saw you. No, mate, I sit in the cop. Bottom right near the corner flag. CJ Wood, good game and a good point. Pablo could have been different last night, like you said. For me, the first time Cooper has looked a bit shaky and gave away some unnecessary free kicks, which they were playing for. Pontus, for me, should be in the team. Great start to the season, though. Long may it continue. I agree, mate. Long may it continue. And thank you very much, everyone, for your comments once again. It means a lot, like I say, and I love doing it, to be honest. I enjoy myself, and I hope you enjoy the content too. I get a lot of positive stuff, so keep that coming in. I've seen a few people at the ground as well now that seem to come up and give us a thumbs up. Next time, please, you know, come and do an interview. That's what we want. That's what we're there for. We're always at the Revy stand now after the game, so if you're there, come over and we'll get you on. And let's get the channel moving, guys. That's what we want. And I know the majority of you are enjoying it. I've got a few people have mentioned I haven't done the championship dream team for a bit, so I'm going to do that as well this week. I think maybe Wednesday, and that has nothing to do with the fact that your boy got team of the week, didn't I? I got 50 points this week. So it's nothing to do with that I get to read my own team and out and that, I promise you. It is just for the fact that some guys have asked for it, so let's get that back rolling, so I'll do that. And hopefully we're going to be setting up some sort of like Skype call between myself, Oscar and the Ramblings, and we can have just a three-way chat about what we think of the season so far, even just the championship. Anything you want to discuss, give us a shout and we'll get that in. But it's been a pleasure as always, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Marching on together. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.